he's trying to wait to come back off of injury to compete full-time in the WWE, but I really don't think that the personal lives of divas like Brie Bella and Nikki Bella should be exposed as much as they have been on recent editions of the show. It's been so fun watching Total Divas. I just wish so much wasn't exposed that's being exposed, and that is an honest opinion coming from a radio show host and columnist. I mean, too much exposure really necessarily isn't a good thing. I know it's contributing to the high ratings that we're seeing every week on Total Divas, but do we need as much exposure as what we're getting? And that's a question that I could pose to the listening audience on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube today. Do you think that we should be getting as much exposure as we've been subjected to for recent editions, the first few editions that have dropped of Total Divas? I think the answer to that question is no, but your opinion is the opinion that matters. Do you think that we should be entitled and be seeing as much exposure as we're seeing every week on Total Divas? I know the show is new, and they're trying to get it over, and it kind of puts me in mind of how the XFL tried to expose the XFL cheerleaders in the locker room during the first season back in the early thousands. I know it's very different when you compare the XFL to the reality show of Total Divas, but I think the exposure is really what's getting the high ratings with the show. If you take that out, then the ratings are going to drop. I understand that, but should we be seeing as much exposure as what we're seeing? Is too much exposure necessarily a good thing? Some fans are immediately going to jump the gun and say yes it is, but I think a lot of exposure is kind of really getting under the skin of people like Brie Bella and Nikki Bella, who are really the focal point of the show. Another thing that I think is a big flaw of the show is there's too much emphasis on 2 or 3 divas of the entire cast. I mean, there should be just as much emphasis on the newer divas like Ava Marie and Naomi, who are trying to make a name for themselves in the WWE. Naomi waited months patiently for a chance to be pushed in the WWE, and I think that she probably would wish that she'd be doing more productive things than just being a dancer for Brodus Clay's Funkadactyl thing. But I really think that Naomi's waited patiently, and I think there should be more emphasis on other divas as opposed to just having the bulk of the emphasis given to Nikki and Brie Bella. Now, we know that the Bella twins were re-signed to the WWE, knowing they were going to be a part of this huge reality show, and the WWE needed a couple of divas that had been there for a number of years to promote this show. And I also think there should be more divas involved as opposed to just having 5 or 6 divas be the focal point of the show, and that's what I'm hoping you get out of seasons 2 and 3 of this reality show. And for what AJ's been doing for the Divas division, not even being a part of the cast and promoting both the Divas division and Total Divas, I mean, she deserves a tremendous amount of credit, and that's why I think that we shouldn't cut AJ's reign short. We shouldn't sell AJ short, because she will probably be the most unpredictable diva out of the 4 that are involved in this match, and I really think that she should probably retain. We shouldn't count her out, even though she has 3 challenges, and this is the most difficult challenge she's been presented with since winning the title back in June at Payback, after forcing the former champion Caitlyn to tap out after Caitlyn chose to do something stupid. In the words of JBL, we shouldn't sell AJ short, and we shouldn't immediately say that someone like Naomi or Natalya has a decisive advantage when it comes to a psychological advantage over AJ, because who really has had a psychological advantage given AJ's character's perception in the WWE over AJ since winning the Divas Championship, or even before that? The answer to that question is no. So AJ has a psychological advantage over her 3 challengers in this match, and she has the speed and the technical wrestling ability to her advantage. Now, I know there are a lot of other technical wrestlers in this match, like Natalya, who is probably the most technical challenger out of the 3 that AJ has. You have Brie Bella, who has a couple of submission moves in her arsenal. So, of course, AJ has a lot of advantages in her corner, but the other divas do as well. But I think AJ's advantages outnumber the number of advantages her challengers have. And I think with the position that AJ is in right now, there really is no other diva, even though we have a lot of hype for divas like Natalya and Brie Bella going into this match, with how Brie Bella, more especially, is the focal point of this show. I really think that there's no diva in a position right now to knock AJ off her pedestal in the WWE, and we're going to be seeing AJ as Divas Champion for quite some time. The first fall in this match will determine who comes out of it with the Divas title. My prediction of when you can see it, the pay-per-view prediction section of this website, is AJ to retain the Divas Championship. Only time will tell. But that's who I'm going with for the Fatal 4-Way match between Brie Bella, Natalya, Naomi, and of course AJ, your current and defending WWE Divas Champion. When do I predict AJ to lose the Divas Championship? Probably by November, probably Survivor Series. She'll drop the championship to Natalya or Naomi, while Total Divas continues to rapidly ascend to the top of the reality show ratings list, and it currently sits right there in the dominant position of being the #1 most watched reality show when it comes in terms of a debut. Statistically, it was the highest rated premiere of a reality show we have seen in years for any reality show that we have seen over the last at least half of a decade, for the better part of the last 5 years. By the time Total Divas securely has that top position for being the number one reality show. By November, probably Natalya or Naomi will knock off AJ. AJ needs a challenge, and she'll get it at Night of Champions. I just don't see her reign as Divas Champion ending anytime soon. If you have any feedback, you can let me know what you think of it on Facebook at facebook.com/HW Entertainment, on Twitter at Jonathan Clarke1, and on YouTube at youtube.com/Jonathan Clarke22. And I will archive this video for you amongst our recent archived videos at youtube.com/Jonathan Clarke22. If you like any of these videos, you can subscribe to us on YouTube. We have also recently subscribed to a lot of YouTube channels for you, and our recent subscriptions on our YouTube channel, the newly redesigned YouTube 1 channel of HW Entertainment. You got to get in on this feel of our YouTube channel, brand new feel for you. And of course, you can join the conversation on Facebook at facebook.com/HW Entertainment and subscribe to our followers list on our Facebook page. You can also tweet us with a creative hashtag, probably Total Divas. AJ is Divas Champion, new Divas Champion at Night of Champions. Just throwing some creative hashtags your way. You come up with a creative hashtag and tweet me your opinion. Tweet me a prediction for any of the matches at Night of Champions. In addition to the Fatal 4-Way match, we have Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton for the WWE title, RVD and Alberto Del Rio match that I'm really looking forward to for Night of Champions for the world title. And of course, we have CM Punk versus Curtis Axel. If CM Punk defeats Curtis Axel, then he'll get his hands on Paul Heyman, the Intercontinental Champion, as a challenge of winning him. All the information for Night of Champions and how you can be a part of Night of Champions either on pay-per-view or your mobile devices can be found on WWE.com. Then all you have to do is click on the site for Night of Champions, which is very creative, a lot of history when it comes to the Night of Champions pay-per-view, a pay-per-view that began back in 07-08, and there was a lot of information on the upcoming matches and the pay-per-view itself for Night of Champions 2013, headlined by Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton for the first time ever, which you can guarantee will be a pure wrestling match with the WWE title, and of course CM Punk and Curtis Axel, as CM Punk faces the Intercontinental Champion for the first time in years on a pay-per-view in a match where if he defeats Curtis Axel, he'll get his hands on Paul Heyman. But everyone is talking about Total Divas. Everyone is talking about this normal Fatal 4-Way match. First pinfall or submission will decide who comes into this match as the new Divas Champion, or who will retain the Divas Champion, in this case AJ. AJ's had an incredible match series with Caitlyn over the past number of pay-per-views and editions of Raw and SmackDown. This is the first real challenge, in my opinion, for AJ, and if she wins this match, you can't say that she didn't deserve to be the WWE Divas Champion. If she comes out of this one with the win, I will give her the credit that I've been kind of holding back from AJ for the past number of months because of the lack of utilization of her character when it comes to a competitive role in the WWE, and preferably I'd love to see her wrestle more than what we've been seeing her wrestle ever since at least she won the Divas Championship. We have been seeing her wrestle more, but not as much as I would probably want to be seeing AJ wrestle. I'd much rather see her wrestle than be a Raw general manager or a valet, and I'm hoping to see that continue, that trend continue for AJ in the next couple of months, even if she loses the championship by Survivor Series, which I predict she will. By the 26th, 27th annual Survivor Series, we'll have a new Divas Champion, and it'll probably be someone like Brie Bella, Natalya, or Naomi. One of those three challengers are a future Divas Champion, and it would be a bit of a reprieve if someone like Naomi won the Divas Championship. It wouldn't be as exciting as seeing AJ win the Divas title, but it would be a bit of a reprieve from seeing the 3 or 4 Divas that we have seen be pushed over the past couple of months continue to be pushed into November or December. By November or December, that makes room for AJ or Natalya to come in as the Divas Champion, even though it would be deja vu by seeing Natalya as Divas Champion. It would be a bit of a reprieve from being subjected to what we've been subjected to over the past couple of months. So give me your feedback on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Continue to watch Total Divas and support the show in the way that you have been over the past couple of weeks, making it the #1 most watched reality television show every Sunday on the E-Network. Additional information can be found on WWE.com and the E-Network's official website. Give us your feedback on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube as we once again take a look at the rapid ascension and current position and status of AJ's character in the WWE. There you see a graphic of her holding that prestigious Divas Championship, the same title that's been held by everyone from Maurice to Kelly Kelly, even Michelle McCool, who was the first woman in history to win both the Women's and Divas Championships, solidifying her name as a legend in the WWE. And the term legend when it comes to women in the WWE is thrown around a lot, especially ever since Trish Stratus left in 2006, but you're never going to get a duplication of Trish Stratus. It's going to be years before WWE find a talent as incredible as talents like Lita and Trish Stratus, but for now, this is the position the Divas division is currently in, and this is what we're faced with as fans of the Divas division, and at least they've gotten themselves out of that rut they were in probably 6 or 7 months ago when Divas like Kelly Kelly and Eve Torres were being given their walking papers by the WWE. There is a rumor that Kelly and Eve Torres will be returning by October or November to the WWE, but it's just a rumor and there is no clarification of it, because I think that Eve Torres and Kelly are very satisfied with their current positions when it comes to reality television outside of the WWE. Maybe this is a way of pulling divas like Eve Torres and Kelly back in, but only time will tell. Tell me what you think of it all on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, the rumors, the status of both AJ and Total Divas, and I will see you next week.
When something takes place in the world of professional wrestling, you know where to go. WrestleZone.com. WrestleZone.com. Covering all the latest breaking news daily. Interactive forums where you can chat with thousands of other wrestling fans. Exclusive editorials and audio features by some of today's top wrestling superstars. Exclusive video content, weekly polls, live play-by-play coverage of every WWE and TNA pay-per-view. And now, featuring WrestleZone Radio, live with news, in-depth discussions, debates, and interviews with wrestling's top stars, past and present. When you think wrestling, think WrestleZone. WrestleZone.com.
He considers himself God's gift to wrestling, and millions of his faithful agree. With nearly 4 hours of footage and exclusive commentary and matches, this DVD chronicles Daniels' rise from Chicago's Windy City Wrestling to the Asylum in Nashville, and finally to the top of TNA. TNA Home Video presents Heaven Sent, Hell Bound, the best of Christopher Daniels. Available at most retailers and TNAWrestling.com.
Hey, you right there, the one listening to this show. While you're tuning into this broadcast, or when you read the news on WrestleZone.com, are you forming opinions of it all? Or do you just agree with everything you see and hear? If you actually have some sort of afterthought, which, by the way, is normal, we want to know what it is. There are thousands of wrestling fans